So this 7 minutes will go by very quickly. And so what I want to talk about today are the first career shaping things that I learned that have followed me through my sales career and are still very much relevant today. So we're going back to basics. So I align my development and success to 3 separate pillars or main lessons. So number 1, that's my personal success. Number 2, that's success with my clients, which is an obvious one. And 3, success with management and the people within my team that can make a difference to my day-to-day. So today I'm going to cover some easily actionable points that everyone can implement today. If you already do some of these to some extent, then it's only 7 minutes of your life wasted. And if not, then give it a try and see if it makes a difference. So let's kick off with lesson 1. So for my personal success. So for me, this is down to the reason why I and a lot of us do the job that we do. And it was a question that I was asked very early on in my career. Why do I want to be in sales? Now, there may be 100 reasons, but for me, I love the variety in my days. So I work in a European remit, and I've had weeks when the world was open, of course, where I could be in 2-3 countries a week, and I absolutely loved it. I'm also a very competitive person, and I love to win. And finally, I love that the hard work that I put in is directly aligned to my commissionable earnings. So message 1 that I want you to take from that is when moving into a new sales career, make sure you've got a good understanding of your commission or bonus plan. This can vary significantly between companies and in some cases be really, really complex. And you can be made to feel like, you're expected to understand exactly what's in front of you and be pushed to sign it. From leverage to absolute plans, what accelerators you may have, any additional spiffs. There's so many different nuances. And by not fully understanding how you earn your commission, then you don't know the easiest route to earning well. So first action, request one-on-one time with your manager or HR team and have them break it down and explain all elements in detail. This only needs to be done once and is well worth the time. Understand your commission plan. I have the advantage as this is something that I talk about on a daily basis. So happy for you to connect with me, learn more, and just here and happy to help. So message 2 around my personal success. And this one's quite personal to me and it really speaks to the way that my mind works and has helped me massively. So give it a try and see if it works for you. I have ideas at all times of the day and night, and it can be extremely frustrating, especially when I'm trying to switch my brain off from work or I've got a really good idea. Then by the time I wake up, I've completely forgotten it. It drives me absolutely insane. I think with our line of business, creativity is so key. We work with so many different types of people and clients that there's never a one-size-fits-all approach. So new ideas are our USP. And have you ever made a note of something and looked back at it and just asked yourself, like, was I drunk when I wrote that down? I mean, I might have been, but that's besides the point. So one very simple thing that I do to make clear and easily actionable notes to myself I can refer back to, which then frees my mind from the point so then I can sleep or I can do whatever I need to do. I actually send voice messages to myself. So I usually do this on WhatsApp or I use an app called Rev Voice Recorder. So by taking a step further than just writing down quick notes, I can explain in a much easier way the background to the idea or the to-do that I need to follow up on. So I'd usually explain what the idea is, give myself an action point or a comment to reach out to a set person, whatever it is, but it's so much easier for me to refer back to when it's me explaining it to myself. So action, try it today, use WhatsApp or download the app and see if it works for you. So 7 minutes is going to go fast. So I'm going to move on to lesson 2, success with your clients. And as I mentioned, there's never a one size fits all. And I know, with this audience, I'm speaking to seasoned professionals. So rather than try and give advice, I'll speak to things that I've learned and that have really been ingrained from me from the early days. So message 3. So one skill that I don't think any seller has an issue with is talking. However, active listening can be more of a problem. A lot of the time, some people are listening to figure out, how your product or solution fits, or to decipher the information you'll need to pass on to your technical or your services team. But remember to always stop and listen. As a key point of contact, you should know what is keeping them up at night, what makes them feel like their job is on the line. Listen. Ask specific, well thought out questions, refer back to information that they've shared previously, and show that you're linking their story together and really understanding their pain. Not just the standard self-serving questions that we are taught to ask. There's not many ways to build trust very quickly, but it is very, very easy to destroy it very quickly. So have your contact or client leave a discussion with you feeling like they've been heard, like they've spoken to someone who cares, and you can try and go a step further and do one thing that makes a personal difference to them. Now, this can be quite difficult, and I recommend never to make any promises, but look out for things that seem personal favor between the two of you, that you can make a difference and help build that trust. My team have questioned in the past how some of our more difficult clients get on with me so well, when they seemingly have had issues with quite a few other members of the team. But, the key thing is that I listen and I focus on their personal pain. So action, if you don't already, change this today. Be available, be present, and be caring. So work to build that next level of rapport. That's how you get people on side. So message 4, and another very, very simple one, that actually came along with a gift from one of my mentors that I had to dig out today for this session, but it's this very handy 2-minute timer. So I'll never forget, I was put on the spot at a client meeting, first year in sales, and put on the spot, and I immediately started rambling on about the product that I spent probably the previous 3 days researching, didn't even tell them my name, and it was a disaster, but I never forgot it. So a couple of days later, my mentor gave me this 2-minute timer and told me to never mention my company name or any product before this timer is done. He quite literally stalked me on some of my calls and were listening as I started cold calling, but I never forgot it. So lesson 4 for me, be sure to warm up a meeting. It's pretty much second nature now, but I still keep it in mind when I feel myself rushing to get to the point. Now we're pushed for time, and I know James is about to pop back up, so I'll move on to the final lesson, and that's success with your management and people within your organization that can make a difference. So my fifth message, super easy, and yet as salespeople as a whole, I think is something that we do fight against. Just update your bloody CRM. Just do it. My company use and sell a solution that monitors every step of your pipeline. It gives you the granular detail associated with each deal. So it monitors how your end dates change, the way values are moving, how frequently you're contacting prospects and more. Was I resistant at first? No, of course not. I mean, that's just in case my manager's watching, but of course I was, and probably everyone else would be. But the reality is that this is the direction that we are moving to. So you need to get ahead of it. Stay off the list that leads to more meetings being put in your diary to discuss pipeline. So action on this one. Find out when your management does their weekly data pull for their management reviews, and the day before, set 25 minutes to update your CRM and just get it done. Management will love you for it, and more importantly, they will leave you alone. Not sure if I've got time for the final lesson, but no one's popped up yet, so I'll keep talking. So message 6, and it's a personal one, but something I've found. There he is. Can I finish, or I've got another minute?
You go on.
Perfect. Something I find extremely helpful, and I'm sure you, much like myself, work with a team of very, very talented people, and I hope you, like me, have that one person that hears all of your crazy ideas. I won't mention his name to embarrass him, but if I have any kind of idea, the likeliness is I have run it by him. He's very different to me. He's very technical, very logic driven when it comes to solutioning. So whilst I may look at the wider art of the possible, he always reins me in and ensures that my ideas align with reality. He's my go-to in a lot of sales scenarios. So in sales, even though you clearly can know what you're talking about, there's always a perception that we may have an ulterior motive. So it's always important to set up someone else within the team that will also engage with the client as the external trusted party. So they're singing from the same hymn sheet essentially, but they are positioned as the likable party. My person is amazing at that. And I've sold deals solely on the back of the fact that I promised he'd have a hand in implementing the project. So not necessarily an action on that one, but make sure you have that person and make sure you value them. So to conclude then, just thank you very much for listening. I look forward to speaking with some of you. And just remember, you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. So just get on and do the damn thing. Thank you.